Hello everyone and welcome back to Family Life Builders TV where we're rebuilding homes and transforming society. My name is Tosin Opeoluwa. So in this video, I just quickly want to address, a short video that I made some time ago. But before I say that, a quick disclaimer. Remember, our mission and our vision on this channel is to be the repairer of the breach and the restorer of the path to dwell in. And that's why we said we're rebuilding homes and transforming society. This place, for anything to be rebuilt, there's a need for renewing of mind, and there's a required action for everything that needs to be renewed. If you want to remodel your house, there's a need for you to get materials, buy things, save up, and then buy those material. You either do it yourself or you call someone to do it for you. Also, if you're doing it yourself, the remodeling yourself, I can say yes, you are taking action into transformation and you are doing it by yourself. You are intentional about, changing your life, changing your marriage, changing your situation. But if you are going to call a contractor to help you in doing it, remember you still have to pay for it. Remember you still have to be there to supervise things and ensure that things goes the way you want. So if you're hiring a professional to remodel your house for you, I can equate that to hiring, a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a coach, someone that will help you, someone that could tell you and say, hey, this is where we need to patch, this is where we need to change, this is what we need to do. So there are people like that, and there are times like that in our lives, in our marriage, when we all need to come to that space. So most of my video will benefit people who are more willing and ready to change their life. And trust me, you can't do this thing by yourself. Because why? Even if you have to do the remodeling yourself, like I said the other time, you need understanding, you need knowledge, you need to know about it. That means you're taking steps to read, you're taking steps to attend classes, to attend groups, to find knowledge that could transform your relationship and your marriage. So people that will benefit from this channel are people who are willing to change their life, to change their marriage, to change that marriage that is almost dying. You know what? The first marriage had the tendency, 50% tendency to end in divorce. And then the second marriage has 67% tendency to end in divorce. And then the third marriage has the tendency to 75% tendency to end in divorce, meaning that if you're married the first time, you have the tendency to marry the second time, and you have the tendency to marry the third time. Does that make you a bad person? No. But what is that telling us? That is telling us that there's something about your life, not about them necessarily. Of course, those people, they might actually, have faults in their life, have issues in their life, trauma, and the rest of them. However, likes attracts likes. Deep calleth unto the deep. So if there is something in your life attracting the wrong person, then it's time to check. What I said in that short video, the link is, I'm going to put the link somewhere, in this on this video. What I said was, stop telling people to go and get a divorce for emotional abuse. Stop telling people. Because so that means if they end the first marriage and then the second marriage, the second person they married also abused them emotionally, they're going to get a divorce, right? And then the third marriage as well, if the person abused them emotionally, are you saying they are going to divorce again? And then the fourth marriage and then the fifth marriage, don't you think something is wrong? What we are saying here is this. Because someone abused you, it's obvious that what you allow is what lingers. And when it lingers, it becomes a norm. So this is what happened. Most of the time when people abuse you, you give them the power. You give them the opportunity. You give them the will. Immediately you stand up to it and say, no, enough is enough. Things are going to change. But the challenge that I've seen with lots of people is you don't even understand what abuse is. And that's why we need to cut things from the roots. We need to start from the beginning. What happened? How did you meet this person? What was your childhood like? How did your father treat your mother? How did your mother treat your father? Were you raised by a single mom? What is your adverse childhood experiences? What are the things that you've been through as a child that formulates who you are? What are those experiences that you are bringing from your past relationship into the new relationship that is affecting you and affecting the way the other person treats you? So when you get into a relationship and you don't even know what you want out of your own life or out of the relationship, they are going to treat you the best way they could. And guess what? You will think they are abusing you. Because nobody ties anybody's leg down. If you date, the first date, the second date, the third date, you get into the courtship. But the problem is you start sleeping with each other when you were supposed to learning each other. So you have a bond and a connection already, and it's difficult for you to leave the relationship. And so you try to patch it, and then get married to the person. And you told me they were emotionally abusing you. Oh, come on. They are abusing you because you gave them the power. Because you feel like you owe them something. You feel like they owe you something. A lot of things are going on in your life that you need to deal with beyond the emotional abuse. Have you thought about, your connection, your emotional bond, the trauma bond between you and this person? Have you thought about the trauma, your childhood trauma that makes you have a low self-esteem? Which makes you feel, well, this guy can manage me, so I'm going to manage him. I'm not going to allow him to get angry with me. No. It's time for you to think. Think about what is going on in your life. Think about what was really wrong, and then think about how you can make it right going forward so that you could become the better person that you are created to be. Remember, because when I was saying it, I saw a comment that someone was saying, well, it doesn't matter if someone is abusing you, you can go from one relationship to another. I feel like the person does not know what they're saying. I don't know if the person is a he or she or they. But the truth is this: you are in that position because something was wrong with your childhood. So if you are jumping from one marriage to another, and I'm not minimizing the experience of those who are experiencing emotional abuse, I've done a thorough study on it, and I've written a book on domestic violence. So I understand this very well, and I'm not minimizing your experience. I'm only saying divorce is not the solution to emotional abuse. It has to be the last result after you have tried everything and it doesn't work. And then you can say, hey, I've tried. Enough is enough. I want to move forward. Apart from that, there's a need for you to really think deep and look at what is going on in your own life. This is what I'm saying. If you keep living your relationship, now what is going to happen to your children? So if you have a child for the first man, you have a child for the second man, you have a child for the third man, and then at the end of the day, you become a single mom. You don't understand the pain that people go through when it comes to our co-parenting, especially when you don't have agreeable people in that relationship. Because if someone is really and truly abusing you, it is when you leave that the abuse increase. And they are going to use everything to haunt you and to torment you. So that's why I discourage people saying I'm divorcing because of emotional abuse. There is something you could do. Because if you have 3 children from 3 different men simply because they were abusing you, you're putting those children through trauma as well. And you know what? Those children raised by single mom or single person's household, if not for grace, for some of us that were raised by single mom and single parents, let me tell you, statistics does not lie, they are facts. Statistics shows that they have 3 times tendency to end up in jail, to be abused, to use drug, to not to complete school, to drop out of school, and to live in poverty. That is trauma. That is trauma. You don't want to put any child through that, because it's going to be in circle. It's going to be in circle. That child is also going to end up like you. Why don't you take your stand and fight? Fight with knowledge. Fight with intentionality. Fight with strength. Fight with understanding. Because most of the time, the person abusing you is not even the problem. Yeah. There's something that does not just want you to be fulfilled. Because when they mess up your marriage, they will mess up virtually everything in your life. Go and ask those, because the way people talk about divorce, you think is just a bread and butter. Like, when you divorce, it takes a longer time for you to recover. Emotionally, financially, physically. It takes a longer time. And you are exposed to so many unnecessary issues in your life. Please, there is more to life. So if you are experiencing emotional abuse and you want to talk to me about it, I don't have all the time. However, if you send me an email, I'm gathering numbers. Once the number that I want completes, I'm going to have a free group coaching session for those who are experiencing emotional abuse and how they can actually come out of it. Either for them to change, because when you change your response, the other person change. When you change your action, the other person also change. They either leave you alone, they either walk away, or they change and become a better person. Whichever one you want to see is in your hand. It's up to you. Remember, I keep saying it. You just have to keep becoming a better you, because things work when we work it. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.